Welcome to the Hyborian Keep. I'm Old Man Hyborian. Here, we review tales of Robert E. Howard's greatest character, Conan the Barbarian. Today we'll be reviewing two Conan tales from Free Comic Book Day. Heroic signatures in Titan Comics, Conan tied to the Tyrant King, and Ablaze the Cimmerian, Xuthal of the Dusk. This won't be some fluffy review, it'll be an old man's honest opinion. And just as a heads up, there will be spoilers. So I don't want you to go crying to your mummy if I say something that spoils it for you. If you don't want the spoilers, go to the summary at the end. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And with that, let's get after it. So here we are, doubled up on Conan content for Free Comic Book Day. That's never a bad thing. So we have two titles here. We have Heroic Signatures in Titan Comics, and we have Ablaze the Cimmerian. So we'll start off with Heroic Signatures in Titan Comics with an excellent cover from Roberto De La Torre. I really like the way that Roberto can capture Conan. It's pretty cool. So inside cover we have a bunch of the Conan content that's available. We have the credits for Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. We have a map of the Hyborian Age. Then the Median Chronicles, and we have Conan in the Hyborian Age. He's a mercenary fighting in the borderlands between Zingara and Argos. And we also have Steve Costigan fighting in World War I in France in 1918. So story by Jim Zub and the artwork by Jose Moreno. Not bad artwork. I kind of like Jose's take on Conan. This should be a pretty good miniseries. So we open up with this two-page spread of Conan in the middle of a battle. And then we have Stephen Costigan. He's also in the middle of a battle in World War I. It shows some similarities of both men fighting their different wars and taking an injury. So kind of drawing a parallel line between the two of them there. So after the battle, the mercenaries, they're getting healed up, enjoying the town, when there's this bully that comes, tries to take advantage of one of the women, and he kind of dares Conan to stop him, which wasn't a good plan. Conan gave him a bit of an attitude adjustment. And it was one of the mercenary men, so they're kind of telling Conan that he's the captain, is not going to like that. Conan really has no use for them, call them vermin. Basically, they could tell the captain to take his job and shove it, and Conan leaves. Then we jump into the hospital from World War I. Similar happenings. There's some soldiers there that are kind of harassing one of the nurses. So Stephen, he kind of confronts him, but he's not healthy enough to do anything about it. Then it jumps forward several years. Stephen, he's in London, 1924, kind of down on his luck. He's basically run out of money, and he sees this building, the Temple of Dreams. So he enters in, seeing if he can get some relief for his damaged soul. And down underneath this building there's a corpse, an ancient tyrant, primed for rebirth. And then we flash back to the Hyborian Age. We get this sinister looking dude there. There's a link to the Age of Atlantis. And this guy is a soul-shattered servant that's looking for revenge on the barbarian who foiled the Master's grand plans. Then we have Conan down by the seashore. He's got a bad feeling that there's grim tides coming. So pretty good setup for Jim Zub's new miniseries. Interested to see where that goes. And then we have a little bit of a teaser here for the actual series, Tied to the Tyrant King, starting this fall. We have a write-up by Jeffrey Shanks and some early art by Jose Moreno. Pretty good. Two-page splash here for the upcoming Conan the Barbarian series with Conan and Valeria. Really looking forward to that. Some slash-buckling stuff. That should be pretty fun. And then the back cover is the several novels that Titan Books have out, and the announcement that there's a new one coming soon. Conan, Gold for Dark Gods. I know, I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit better than the last few, but I'm not overly optimistic. So that's the start for Jim Zub's new miniseries, Conan, Tides of the Tyrant King. The other free book was from Ablaze, the Cimmerian, Xuthal of the Dusk. The cover here was done by Chris Regnall. Not a bad cover. Conan's a little bit too hairy, but it's a pretty decent cover. We got the credits for Ablaze, and the story starts out in the desert. Has Conan and Natella wandering through the desert, and she's just about on her last leg, and Conan's ready to strike her down to put her out of her misery when they kind of notice a city off into the distance. That's following Howard's story. And there's a flashback of how they actually ended up where they are, where Conan was, you know, a member of Prince Almric's army, and they were fighting. They fought through Shem and Stygia, and they were defeated in Kush at the edge of this desert. So Conan and the girl kind of escapes. So they approach the city. Now the artwork here, not a big fan of it. And I don't know if it's the artwork or the coloring of it. Some of it's quite dark. The city really didn't look like how Robert E. Howard expressed the city. It's supposed to have a green hue to it. So, you know, that's really not reflecting Robert's story. So Conan and the girl approach the city. They gain entry. They find a guy who thinks is dead at the main gate, which follows Howard's story. And they see this well, and then this guy, he's actually not dead. He comes to life. Conan ends up taking care of him, and Conan ends up tossing the guy down into the well. So this is one of the actions that Conan did in Robert E. Howard's story that, to me, just didn't feel like Robert E. Howard's other stories about Conan. That, you know, I don't think Conan would really toss a body into the well to contaminate it. But the Ablaze book, it's true to the story. It has Conan and the girl, they're wandering through this city. So again, that's true to the story. But the artwork is just kind of dark. And it looks kind of crunched down, like it doesn't look like it fits the page as well as it should. And another complaint I had was the print. The print was so small that my old eyes, I could hardly see it. So I didn't much care for that. So the story is going to continue on with Ablaze #1. So I'll continue buying it, see how it works out. Then there was a secondary story here. It was kind of black and white, didn't much care for that. Just seemed like a little bit of filler, really had nothing to do with Conan at all. So one thing I did notice with the Ablaze stuff is the other Ablaze issues, they always had Robert E. Howard's story actually in the book. So you know, especially for new readers, they could read Robert E. Howard's actual text, and then they could look through the comic to see how accurate it was. So they didn't do it this time, and that was a little bit disappointing. So that sums up free comic book #2 from Ablaze. Two Conan books. It's never a bad day when you can get 2 Conan books. Well, there you have it. Free Comic Book Day battle between Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics' Conan, Tides of the Tyrant King, and Ablaze's the Cimmerian, Xuthal of the Dusk. The cover art by Titan, Roberto Di Latorre, stellar as usual. And Jim Zub always has an interesting spin on things. And Jose Marino, good solid art. Going to enjoy this mini-series by him. Good teaser. And the second story from Ablaze, the cover art by Chris Regnall, wasn't too bad. Conan was a little hairy, but not too bad. The art inside by Stephen Zubia, it was kind of hit and miss. Didn't care for it. I don't know if it was the coloring or not. It was kind of dark. The adaptation of the story so far is pretty good. It's following Howard's story. So who was the winner of this battle? Well, we were, the fans, of course. Any day that you can get 2 Conan stories is a good day. If you can track them down, find them, read them, and enjoy them. And with that, I bid you farewell.